We're now joined by someone who's now in the national news. He's State Senator Declan O'Scanlon, Republican from the 13th Legislative District. How you doing, Senator?
I'm doing really well, Steve. How are you?
I'm great. We're taping on the 20th of July. It'll be seen later. I'm not sure if you're going to be national news then, but I will say this. We'll talk about the state budget. We'll talk about the economy. Can we talk about freedom of speech and Twitter? You got taken off of Twitter. I'm not saying, was it 12 hours, 24 hours?
12 hours.
What did you do to get them to throw you off for 12 hours?
Well, nothing justifiable. My tweet was perfectly reasonable. It was an opinion. It was an accurate opinion based on facts. And
what was it exactly about vaccines and COVID?
Yeah, look, I've been a big vaccine supporter. I've encouraged people to get vaccines. I've organized clinics. It was my office that helped get, I think we are the first county to make vaccines accessible to every senior and to every teacher in the state. I'm a big backer, but I am also a big believer that our government should not mandate things if it doesn't have to, if there's not a compelling safety reason. And here there's not. We have had amazing voluntary uptake of the COVID vaccine. Also, by the way, it's emergency use authorization as well. So mandating such a medication when there's already great voluntary uptake is completely uncalled for.
But Senator, even for children under 12, as we speak on the 20th of July, with the Delta variant just sweeping across the nation, really no sense that children should be vaccinated? Because I believe the tweet said something about that, no?
No, we didn't talk about child vaccinations. I don't think you're going to see child mandatory vaccinations or discussion of it until the vaccine is fully approved. And I don't think that's going to be until January. The real discussion that was going on at the time was vaccine passports and mandating people get the vaccine before they are allowed to do certain things, adults.
What do you think of that? What do you think about the passports?
I think it's uncalled for at this point. Certainly in New Jersey, we have one of the best vaccination rates in the nation, in the world. We're over 70% vaccinated. If you add in the people that have naturally acquired antibodies, people that had it, of that remaining 30%, we're probably approaching 85% of adults in New Jersey have some level of substantial immunity. You don't have to mandate anything. You don't have to talk about vaccine passports. It's gratuitously provocative for those people that have concerns and choose not to get vaccinated.
By the way, real quick, Twitter put you back on, and you're waiting for an apology. By the time this airs, you may have gotten and you may not, I don't know. But I want to ask you this, Matt, real clear, and by the way, we love having you because you always speak your mind. Quick question. In the fall, September into October, should school-age children under 12 wear masks?
At this point, no, because of our low transmission rate. This isn't a great threat to children. They've proven not to be vectors. Look, but we have to be fair. It's possible that could change if our transmission rate goes, if there's a variant that starts hitting our kids. So we have to be open to that. But right now, people shouldn't worry about their kids going back to school wearing masks.
Shift gears. By the way, if you're listening on the radio side, State Senator Declan O'Scanlon, 13th Legislative District, he knows a lot about fiscal affairs in the state. Give Governor Murphy a grade of his regarding his fiscal management of state resources.
F. Because
come on, Declan, seriously.
Look, you know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll give him a D+ because he did do what Republicans requested. The leadership in the legislature and the governor, at the end of the day, did pay down some debt, did do some things, and make a full pension payment and then some. And look, I think they partly did that kicking and screaming because Republicans were pushing, and they knew we were breathing down their necks. But on the flip side, we borrowed $4.5 billion that our kids and grandkids are going to have to repay that we didn't have to borrow, that Republicans warned at the time we didn't have to borrow. We have done nothing to control our budget long term. There's billions of dollars in this budget that are one-shots, that are counting on us maintaining the level of revenue that we had this year, which could easily be an outlier because of the gyrations of the market. So no more than a D+. We should have done better. We should have put more money away. We should be controlling our spending, and we should be reforming our long-term fiscal obligations so we can be sustainable.
Talk about the governor's track record in terms of supporting small business.
Been a disaster. It's been dribs and drabs. You talk to almost any small business person trying to gain access to the minimal amount of money. We should have done I had a bill to do $300 million 15 months ago. We would have saved hundreds and hundreds more businesses. We would have kept people employed. So it's been a disaster. It's been dribs and drabs, and the programs are oversubscribed in 10 minutes. That's been a disaster. We could have done much.
Senator, sorry for interrupting. On one hand, you talk about it's important to be fiscally conservative. It's important to manage the resources we have and the windfall from the federal government, from the COVID dollars, federal support, but then give more money to small businesses. Is that a contradiction?
Not at all. That's exactly what the money was designed for. You take the money that you get and you put it where it's supposed to go and where it will prime our fiscal pump. We didn't do that. We held on to it. There's still money that we're holding on to. And the governor used it rather than to help small businesses. We used it to pay salaries of people that were already budgeted for. So no, it's not inconsistent at all. If I'm calling to use money exactly as it was intended to save our economy.
You know, I feel like for 20 years, I've been doing this for close to 30. It just makes you really old. But for 20 years, we've been talking about, not you, me, we've been talking about school regionalization. There's a school regionalization bill. Real quick, what is it? Why is it important? Why is it going nowhere fast?
No, I think it's going to move. I think we did the. Now, what are you saying isn't going to move quickly? The regionalization itself, or we passed the bill?
Let's just say they've been talking about regionalizing schools for at least 2 decades. There are way too many school districts. They're way too expensive. It has a big impact on property taxes. You tell me what's going on.
We've been our own worst enemy. In many instances, you've had districts that wanted to merge, but our own laws, our own restrictions, our own mandates about dealing with contracts and salaries got in the way. So you'd have, 3 districts trying to merge, and 2 out of the 3 would be big winners. 1 would be a loser, and they'd kill it. You also would have other issues, which we're removing with our new bill. And there's tons of districts that are looking at regionalizing. So hold tight on that.
Okay, so you'd have 1 superintendent instead of 3. You'd have not as many administrators, and we're not looking to have people lose their jobs. But it is very expensive. A small school, there are school districts that don't have a high school. There are school districts that I'm not even sure how many schools they even have to have a superintendent, an assistant superintendent, a deputy. It's expensive.
Our bill will go a long way to solving that and to paving the way for districts that want to merge and make it easy for them to do it and remove these hurdles to doing so.
By the way, how do people follow you on Twitter?
Declan O'Scanlon, at Declan O'Scanlon. Very easy.
And by the way, as we speak right now, your account is active.
It is, yes.
Just
and
checking.
I'm gaining followers every day. It's wonderful.
Senator, my good friend Declan O'Scanlon. I don't know. Are we supposed to say legislators are good friends? I don't know. I don't know the rules anymore.
It's okay. We're allowed.
And we're always civil, and you always are. Thank you, Senator. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Steve.
We'll be right back.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Hackensack Meridian Health, NJM Insurance Group, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, Johnson & Johnson, Choose New Jersey, Operating Engineers, Local 825, Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters, Wells Fargo, IBEW Local 102, and by these public-spirited organizations, individuals, and associations committed to informing New Jersey citizens about the important issues facing the Garden State. And by Employers Association of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by NJ.com and by Jaffe Communications.
Many of New Jersey's children have been affected by COVID-19, but now that there's a safe and effective vaccine available for children ages 12 and older, you can help make COVID-19 history by getting yourself and your child vaccinated. Let's end this pandemic together and help all children get back to being kids. Visit hackensackmeridianhealth.org/COVID-19 to learn more or to schedule a vaccine appointment today.